Welcome to the Compass TV show. I'm just super excited to be here today, and we're going to be talking about a fun topic. I think it's a topic that out in the world we say, oh no, shh, quiet. But we're having a wonderful event coming up where we can support those who are dealing with this disease that really impacts and affects their lives. And it's funny that we're doing it today because, as is usual lately, it's raining or just quit raining out. So that may impact this event, but we do have a backup site. So with that, welcome to Jamie.
Thank you, Barb, for having me today.
Yeah, wonderful having you on. Let's share your role and who you are here with today.
So I am Jamie Lanners, and I'm the Community Coordinator for the Marshall Area Dementia Awareness Network here in Marshall.
Yeah, and I know around town sometimes people will say MADAN. So if you hear MADAN, that's what they're talking about. It's this long, short acronym for a few words that we have put together. So it's kind of fun. But they have a very special event coming up, and I think it's really important that the community gets out there and supports them, because I think it's 1 in 4 that will have dementia. They'll be affected by, and that's like, whoa.
It's the age, of course, as the community ages and the baby boomers come, and there's going to be more baby boomers than the other generations at the time.
Right.
And so, and it's not only about aging, of course.
Right.
It can affect younger. We have younger onset Alzheimer's.
Right.
And also others that have gotten frontal temporal in their 40s or even younger. So it's really affects anyone, so it doesn't discriminate.
Right. And so often I'll hear people say, oh, I don't have that. I don't know anybody in my family who had that. Well, I think back a few years ago, it perhaps wasn't getting diagnosed. And so now we're having more diagnosis of it. And with the diagnosis, then we're better able as a family unit to come around them and help them function through their life journey. Yep,
that is so true. I know with my family, we've my great-grandma had it, but like everyone else, there's not the research where it was, oh, she's that crazy lady that does weird things, you can't visit her.
Right.
And now my grandma has it, and the understanding and the support, and we don't just leave her alone in her house locked up.
Right.
We embrace it and are able to go out in the community and enjoy activities. And the family support and family friends that have helped has just been awesome for her. Yeah, and it makes a huge difference in their lives. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later, perhaps. The fun event that's coming up, what is it? Where is it? Yeah, it's awesome because last year was the first year we've done it, and we're going to continue to do it every year. So this year is the second annual. It's a Walk for Memories, and to build awareness around dementia and just honor those that have been affected by dementia, whether your family's had it or your friends have had it, and just remember the ones that have died from it too, that we've lost.
And perhaps there's even some people out there that say, I don't know anybody with it. Well, come on out and support those who have walked this journey or have known someone who has walked this journey. I think it's important as a community to come around and support. And it's going to be a gorgeous day, right?
I hope so. Last year it was amazing. So we had all the rain and then it stopped.
Yep, that's what I mean. It's going to be a gorgeous day.
It is good. I hope so. So it's going to be, every year it's going to be the third Thursday of June.
Right.
So this year it's Thursday, June 20th.
Yep.
And it's at Independence Park in Marshall.
Right. And part of that has come around the whole theme of the longest day. And that comes partly from some of the research behind dementia. And I'm going to say dementia because there's so many different forms. We all say Alzheimer's, but I'm going to use a really broad term and say dementia because there's Lewy body, there's frontal lobe, and the list goes on and on. So we'll say dementia. But one of the reasons that these walks started on this day was for a very specific reason.
Yep, it was to just the same thing we've done is to build awareness, raise funds for research, because it's the 6th leading cause of death now.
Right.
And with older, the population is growing in that age that we'll see more. So it's the research and to raise funds for that, and then also just build awareness around it. So it's the longest day, so you pick an activity that you enjoy to do and raise the funds and do it all day or just a portion of the day.
Right.
So.
Right, that's awesome. And I think it always, when I think of that too as the longest day, it's a reminder to me that those families who are dealing directly with it, I don't think anybody realizes what it means 24/7 every day of the year. So in essence, the longest day kind of gives us a reminder that let's think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with this grandparent or this friend for an hour or a half a day. What if I had to do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year? The longest day, right?
Yep, that is so true.
So I just hope that that also creates a reminder for them as that June 20th is coming up. But what's happening that day?
So there's two things going on this year. So last year we did the walk, and it was 4 to 7 p.m. We had food available. The Noon Rotary offered food for sale, and then what they raised came back to the Dementia Network. We'll have vendor or information booths about dementia, and last year we just had everyone go around and check off that they visited them, and then you get to register for a prize. And we'll do that, but we're going to add some more family-friendly kids games. So there'll be a game each booth, or between the booths we'll be able to do something fun to learn about a little bit more about dementia. Right.
And I think that's so much fun, because I don't think people perhaps realize in this community that there's a virtual dementia tour. And we're going to try to take some little bits and pieces of that and have it affect the games that they play.
Yep.
You know, for those who are out there and have never done that, and you're dealing with someone with dementia, or you have a friend, or you're just curious about how does that mind work? Why? I always remember one of the seniors at the center that had it, and she was one of our best bakers. Whatever she brought down was like perfect. She reached a point that her husband would tell her to get the sugar, and she didn't know what sugar was. I mean, and he's going, well, get the sugar. You know what the sugar is. Remember the sugar. And it's like, no, she did not know what sugar was. So I think by going through that tour, it really, I know when I went through it, and you get on the backside, you go, wow. I mean, like,
yeah.
Your head is still, my head still spins when I think about that experience, but it's a wonderful thing to go through, and we have that resource right here in Marshall, and it can be set up for families that are dealing with it to go in and really take that. So we're going to intersperse a little bit that with the game, so that should be a blast for them to really get a little piece of it, maybe.
Yep, and it's for all ages, so it will be from kids to adults. So
right.
Any age. So come on out. And then
but we're not going to stop there, are we?
No. So it'll be around the walking path, so you can keep walking and just enjoying the walk and the games as you may. And we'll have music available during the walk, so that's 4 to 6. And then new this year, which is very exciting, is at 6 o'clock we're going to do a 5K run for memories.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. And that'll be in Independence Park too. So we'll run all the paths in Independence Park.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful park to be in, and it's always an active park. So, really come out, and if you're interested in that 5K, you can sign up early, but the deadline's almost here.
Yep, so for the early bird rate is $25 to sign up, and we'll put the link up on runsignup.com. So register online, and then if you sign up early, you're guaranteed a race t-shirt.
Right.
Otherwise, you're not really guaranteed that race t-shirt after the May 31st deadline, and the price will go up to $35.
Right.
And you can register up to the day, but again, you're not guaranteed a t-shirt.
Right. And if you don't have a t-shirt, or you're not concerned about a t-shirt, we just ask that you try to wear purple. Purple's the color for dementia, so when you come out that day, we kind of like to flood Independence Park with purple. Yep. And not the purple people eaters. So just flood it with the purple. it would be fun to have some of the purple people eaters there. They probably have some of the effects, you know, possibly with all their hits, right?
Yeah.
So that could be part of it too. But just a lot of fun. It's a fun day planned. We're guaranteed sun. We're saying that, but of course we have no guarantee. But if it's not sunny out, what are we going to do?
So the Walk for Memories, which is 4 to 6, will be at the YMCA in Marshall for backup. And then the run will go on at the park, at Independence Park, unless it's lightning or hail, you know.
Hailing. So if it's raining, just bring your
rain gear.
Hooded sweatshirt, right? Or your rainproof hooded sweatshirt, and we're going to be running. So come out for that. It's a fun day. I was so amazed last year with the number of people that came out, how many learned things. The vendors that are out there have so many resources within this community. Maybe we should touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that in Marshall, the resources that are right here, you know, it's not like you go into your general physician and then you have to travel to this point or to that point or to that point. We have all the services right here. So can you touch on that just a little bit?
Yeah, so the Dementia Network, so MADAN, set up and has a Marshall our community resource guide, and we do plan on updating this. The last update was 2017, but we have the majority. So it's a really neat guide. It has know the 10 signs.
Yes.
So if you are starting to have concerns or just educating yourself about what the 10 signs are is very important. I don't know, do you want me to go over them?
Yeah, let's go over the 10 signs.
Okay, so one is memory changes that disrupt daily life. So it's just things like your sugar example, like normally baked, but don't know what sugar or where to find the sugar is.
Right.
Just simple things.
Or I know I have another example, dealing with a family member. Got up and never got breakfast. It was 1:30 in the afternoon. Oh, was I supposed to do breakfast?
Yep.
That, you know, just those simple things. It's not like, oh, I'm not hungry. It's just forgetting to.
Yeah. Number 2, challenges in planning or solving problems. So that thinking and processing the way you process, is it wearing different clothing, like it's raining out but you're wearing summer clothes, or it's snowing and you put on a tank top instead of or rain boots and it's 80, 100 degrees.
Right. Yep. Some of those normal things they normally wouldn't do is a change.
Yep. 3 is difficulty completing familiar tasks. So same thing as the baking, or if you're an accountant or you've always done the checkbook and now you can't balance it, or you're not doing it correctly. Or
just not even, sometimes they're not even aware of it. They're just out there, okay, I've always had I'll just write checks because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Number 4 is confusion with time and place.
Yep.
Time, I've always, it's interesting because it's a balance, because they're retired most of the time, so it's the ability to figure out what time or what day it is. So if they can figure out to look at a watch to figure out the time, then you're fine. But or you need to look at a calendar to find a date, then it's fine. But to just say, man, what day is it? Like, is it Monday today? Because it feels like it should be, but it's really, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, we're all doing that. We don't have dementia issues yet. You know, it's okay today.
So just being able to, even if you have confusion, to be able to recall and figure out how you can figure out where you are.
And I think that's a key piece. If you can recall and figure out, you know, whether you've lost something or what day or time it is, then you're okay.
Yep.
Because we all do that.
Yes. Number 5 is trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships. So with that, they have trouble like their eyesight and figuring out stepping up steps and things like that.
Right. A little harder to ambulate certain surfaces.
And as it progresses, vision changes. There's different diseases that go with aging. So you may have, you got to watch out. And always, if you have any concerns, visit with your doctor.
Right.
So. Number 6 is new problems with words or speaking or writing. So you can't, you're fumbling over your words constantly, or you're like, you have a watch on, you're like, this time thing, you can't remember what it is.
Right.
So is it a watch? You're trying to come up with watch.
Watch, and you can't say like this wristband or this bracelet, you know, they can't say watch. Yeah.
Yep. 7 is misplacing things and losing, and the ability to retrace. So like we had talked, you know, we all lose our keys a lot. So I like to use the key one a lot, because it's the difference of misplacing it, putting it in your purse and forgetting that you put it, or my kids always take them, but being able to find them. It's the difference of, you put the keys in the fridge, or you put the keys in the freezer, or you know.
You don't recall that you put them there, so you can't go and get them.
Yep.
Right.
So.
Again, it's that recall piece.
Yep. 8 is decreased or poor judgment. So the inability to make those decisions. Like my grandma's, the biggest thing was, she started, you have all these telemarketers all the time, and you start to lose that judgment of like, okay, I'll sign up. My grandma had a Google business and had invested like $7,000 into this, and my dad comes and like, what are you doing? And like all this money is gone. So, and it's just, you're unable to reason with that.
Normally you wouldn't do these things. It's just that inability to say, no, this isn't right, for me.
9 is withdrawal from work or social activities. So one big thing is if you normally go to the adult community center and you start to withdraw and stay home, because a lot of it is fear of what's going on with me. Well, we want to encourage, even if you do start having these signs, to keep coming, because socializing and being active is so important to be proactive with this disease. It's just very difficult. The more you withdraw, the more you stay home, the worse the symptoms get quicker. It seems to progress.
And that's why we're here in the community for you, is to walk alongside you through this journey, not to say stay away. We're saying come.
We don't want anyone to feel like they're alone in this journey, because so many times people feel, I can't go out, I don't feel supported, or they're going to do something weird, or say something that's inappropriate. Well, we're here to support you and to come out and to help you and walk along with you in this journey.
I think that's really important to know. There's a lot of us within this community willing to do that.
So the last one is changes in mood and personality. So like we've talked, is that they start to act out, or they withdraw is one thing, but act out and say inappropriate things, or can get more violent.
Because there's different types of dementia. Some become more physically aggressive. Some become, I'm dealing with someone in the family that has lost the social skills. So the things they do, you're going, what are you thinking? And you're going, okay, don't say that. Just, let's just walk alongside this and encourage them to make this choice versus this choice. You know, those types of things that are so very, very different, when, you know, the people out in public may not always recognize some of that at the early stages, but their family members, sometimes family members will recognize them, or sometimes they'll just say, oh, they're just having a bad day. So I really encourage family members to, if you think it's just a bad day, maybe to kind of take a step back and say, okay, how many bad days have they been having? And do I not want to deal with this because it's easier not to deal with it than to say, hey, I love you, let's walk this path together. That makes it easier, honestly, for both of you, for all of you. It's harder when you say, hey, I don't want to deal with this.
That is so true. And the best thing about Marshall is, if you do have any concerns at all, and don't be afraid to, you should always visit with your doctor. The earlier the better, because it may not be dementia. It could be lack of sleep. It could be a medication. There's
thyroid, there's some vitamin deficiency. So there's a lot of things that affect it.
So get in early, because if you do have those and continue to have something that's not dementia, it can lead and do damage. So
we'd want you to catch it and correct it if we can beforehand.
And the perfect resource now for that is we have the memory clinic
Yes.
in Marshall at Avera.
Yeah.
And so she would be Clarissa Dumdai, and now they have a new one that's joined her practice.
Right. Amy Rowe.
Rowe.
Now, we
Yeah.
each got part of the name, see? See what we talk about? You got a piece of it, but we can figure it out together.
So if you're concerned at all, call them, schedule an appointment. They're amazing to work with.
Yeah, they really are. I know recently we've gone through the process. They're very transparent. They're very honest. I found them very amazing with the person who's being assessed, that it's not threatening. They're not like in your face, you have this, oh, you don't remember that? It was just a gentle, very gentle process, but a really eye-opening for those who aren't familiar with dementia, very eye-opening experience. And then they don't just say, okay, bye. They say, okay, print out, here's the next steps. So it's very user-friendly, if that's the right word for this type of clinic. It's very user-friendly, and they really are there to walk with you hand in hand. They're not going to just say, oh, you have it, goodbye, good luck. You know, and they say, come on back. We want to make sure you're doing these things. If you need help, we'll walk alongside you with that. So it was a wonderful experience, and we have it right here in Marshall.
I know.
And that's such a value that people really need to tap it, even if you're not sure. Go in and tap that resource. They have tons of information.
Yeah. And the neat thing with them is then they also have Big Stone Therapies that is also trained to work with ones that have dementia or different, they've been trained in memory and dementia and how to work with it as therapists.
Right. So then if they need that piece, they're right there to walk with them and not say, oh, I just told you to walk. It's like, oh no, can we take another step? You know, just having those little subtleties that we may not think of that they're already trained in, so to speak.
And so it's physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy that they're all trained in. So that is great to have.
Yeah.
Because I know when we started the journey with my grandma, that was not available as much.
Right.
And as to the extent they have now, they were all trained, or majority of them were trained in Teepa Snow, which she is an awesome, I think she's an occupational therapist and specializes in dementia. So.
Yeah. And I think that's so critical for the community, that when you have people trained, sometimes with a dementia person, it's that one word that can trigger them to having a good day to having a bad day. And so when you have all those levels trained, it's easier to go and take care of them when you know I don't have to worry about those little pieces that make such a big difference too.
That is so true. Other stuff, so like we talked about, is important too if you do start to see these things, to stay active.
Right.
So the Adult Community Center is a great place. The Marshall Area YMCA is a great place and has lots of resources, and trained in, their staff's trained in dementia and understands it.
Right.
Then as you progress, there's assisted livings.
Right. Yep. And with the assisted livings, you know, typically with dementia, as it progresses, people who were so neat and tidy may become a little bit more unkept, as just them physically. So they may need some help with those types of things. Or like I just shared, may forget to eat. You know, it's those things when you get them into the assisted livings, and the ones in Marshall are well trained in that. They know that they need to go and, hey, remember, let's go. Or, hey, take my hand, let's go down and get something, you know. So it's wonderful that we also have that level of resources right here in Marshall. But then we have another level yet too.
To stay in home? Is that what you're thinking about? Okay, perfect. Yes, and we have ASA Southwest Minnesota here in Lyon County that can connect you with different resources, from education to respite. Which respite, if you need 1 to 2 hours of just to go out and get groceries or visit with friends or socialize, is a great opportunity to do it. And they also offer family meetings and there's a bunch of us that are trained in the counseling, to caregiver counseling and coaching to help with that, to connect you with other resources.
And it's so important for the caregiver to take care of yourself. I mean, I've seen so many that say, that's my spouse, I want to be there 24/7. But it's not going to help you. You need your breaks too, because then you become a better caregiver. So, be sure to take some time and take care of yourself. And then as it progresses, of course, we do have a couple of memory cares right here in Marshall too, which is awesome. I don't think people realize that with that memory care, the gentle kindness and care and connection that they provide those people in an environment that they really need. And those memory care units are so, I find them so peaceful when I go in them, generally speaking. They really feel like a home, and I think that's so important for those who need that service. So.
I think it's those oils that they have going, essential oils, that is so important in creating a calming to even use at home too.
Right. So we do have a wide array of services in Marshall, from staying at home to assisted livings to the memory care. So it's a huge service. And I think the last thing we're going to touch on very quickly is the Grandpa and Lucy books. This is another valuable resource that we have here at our library. I'll let you take it from there and just touch on that really quickly.
Our goal this year, so we bought these last year with the Dementia grant that we got, the Minnesota Board on Aging, and our goal is to get these out to the schools and all the libraries in Lyon County. And this book was written by a 9th grader from St. Paul for a project. And what it is about, it's taken the Dementia Friends program, so learning the 5 key messages about dementia, which is dementia is not a natural part of aging. It is caused by diseases of the brain. It's not just about memory loss. It's possible to live well with dementia, and there's more to the person than dementia. So she's taken those and turned it into a story for kids of all ages, and there's curriculum to go along with this. So our hope is to get them into the school systems and start educating the young kids about dementia and saying, you can enjoy a day with Grandpa even though he may be forgetful or calls you by your mom's name because you look like your mom. So just how to embrace that and how to react to it and to have an understanding about it.
And be in that moment, right?
And be in that moment.
And I think this individual did a wonderful story because it's about her experience with her grandpa and how it was almost a hurtful visit that turned into something good because she began to understand dementia and how to enjoy those moments of joy. Should I say that?
It is. It's about creating that moment of joy and still enjoying and having a relationship with them throughout it, because the disease shouldn't, what am I trying to think?
Not change your relationship with them.
And define the person.
Because I think it's really important to know that person is still there. You just have to meet that person with where they're at. And I always find it interesting that with some people, they say, remember me. And it's like, drop the word remember. Just say, I am. Some of those little things just make a big difference. Because as soon as you say remember, I think it's just like setting off this alarm bell. That's what I imagine. I don't think there's any scientific proof behind it, but I see this alarm bell going off like, no, I don't know that word. What are you telling me? Stop.
And what should I remember? Like, what is it?
What you're saying after that, I don't even know what it is, so I can't remember it. So really just, even for adults would go and get this book. This would be a wonderful book just to help them to begin to understand that you still have that person and you need to find that person with where they're at. And you can ask them a ton of questions about where they're at. And they'll probably share stuff that you'd never have known. Because I have found that to be the case too, that I've learned stuff that, you don't think to ask before because you're always talking about the current stuff. Now I'm finding out stuff about when they were little kids that I never knew, and it's really pretty amazing.
It is.
Just meet them where they're at. They're still there, so just meet them where they're at. So with that, Jamie, the walk is, let's go over that again.
Thursday, June 20th from 4 to 7 p.m. at Independence Park. So the walk will be 4 to 6, and then the run will start at 6 p.m.
Okay. So if they have any questions on the run, we're going to hook up that link, and so you'll be able to pre-register by May 31st. If not, you can still register after that, up to the date of the run.
Yep, and we do have a Facebook page. It's Act on All's Marshall, that you can stay up to date with the events that are going on, and I share different posts about dementia and Alzheimer's and then different types. So if you want to stay connected and know when things are happening, that is available.
Yeah. And come join us for our first Thursday, first Thursday of the month right now, MADAN meetings or the dementia meetings if you're interested in being a volunteer and helping within the community.
Yep.
So with that, we thank you for listening. We hope to see you out at Independence Park. It's going to be a warm, sunny day. Thank you.
Thanks.